Hello and welcome to the lecture. Let's look at structure of an HTML page. So let's create a simple HTML page and understand how the structure of an HTML page looks like. For that, you have to open the bracket software. Then we'll create a folder. You can go to any location you want on your PC or Mac. Create a folder. I'll call it PHP training. And I'm going to call introduction to HTML. Inside this, I'm going to create a folder called as structure of HTML. Okay, so in this we will create the HTML file. So how to create an HTML file? The HTML file extension will be .htm or .html. So for this, you can first will create the parts of HTML and understand what is the tags that we have to write inside HTML, and we'll rename it as parts.html. To open this, you can open your brackets. You can drag and drop. That's one way to do it. Or you can open this folder. You can copy this folder. You can say open folder, right? And all the files that you created here will be visible. Okay. You can even go one level up. Open folder. So once you do that, you basically get all the folders here. So it's easy to look at the files and the folders. Okay, so up to you how you want to do it. But we will open this folder introduction to HTML so that we can see all the folders that we create here and all the files that is inside that folder. Right? So let's define the parts of an HTML. The first thing that you write in HTML is the doc type. This is your defining your page as an HTML, and HTML actually have a specification. So you are specifying that I'm going to follow this specification in an HTML format. Okay, so that's basically your document type. Okay, and everything, all the tags that you define is already predefined in HTML. So when a browser reads this HTML file, it knows what specification to use to render this output. Okay. That's where the doc type comes in. Doc type is telling this document is basically an HTML type. So when a browser renders this, it understands as an HTML, and renders means display it as an HTML format. Okay, so the first tag always in an HTML page should be doc type, and everything that you write inside an HTML should be under the HTML tags. Okay, you should not write anything outside here or anything outside here. Okay, remember that everything should be written inside HTML opening and the closing tags. Okay, so there are two important parts of an HTML. One is the head section and one is the body section. Okay, the two parts here, head section is basically the information about your page. This is the information about your page. Okay, this is the displaying the content on the web browser. So anything that you want to display on the web page or the web browser, you write it under the body. Anything you want to mention about this page, like metadata, like your title and everything you want to mention about your page, you define under head. So whatever you define under head is not visible. Everything that you define inside the body is basically visible on the page. Okay, so remember this structure. This is the structure of an HTML. First thing you mention is the doc type to tell the browser who is rendering this HTML that this is an document type of HTML specification. Means you have to render this an HTML. Then you start off with HTML and end with an HTML. You see every opening tag has a closing tag. Okay, and then the main important parts of an HTML is head and body. In head section, whatever you define will not be displayed on the browser. Whatever you want to display on the browser, you write inside the body. Okay, so this is how the structure or parts of an HTML looks like. So let's write some content here and understand how to write an HTML page. So I'm going to create one more page, structure.html. Let's open. You don't have to open this up. I think it will be already visible here. Structure.html. Okay, you can copy paste this and then we'll start over from there. Okay, And remember, you don't write anything outside, you have to mention everything inside the tag. Okay, because I wrote it like that just to show you an example. The most important thing in the head section is basically mentioning about your page. So there is a tag called meta tag, using which you can say what is your character set. Means you're talking about what character set this HTML is using. And obviously if you're using UTF-8, you can mention about UTF-8. And the beauty about meta tag is there is only opening tag and there is no closing tag for meta tags. Okay, that has special meaning. It is describing the char set of your HTML page and it is mentioned in the head section. Okay, the next section is basically your title. Okay, title is displayed on the browser, right? I'm going to see when you run this, you will see, you can say this has a page title. Okay, you see how I'm writing the tag, opening tag and the closing tag, and I'm writing inside the opening and the closing tag. Okay, that's basically our head section. Head over to the body. So whatever you write inside the body is displayed on the content of the browser. Okay, and there are some tags called h1 which we will learn in the next section. Is called heading. You can say heading here. Then you're gonna write the paragraph here, and you're gonna say this is a paragraph. Okay, it's not, we haven't covered what is heading and paragraph as of now, but look at the structure of the HTML. This is how the structure of an HTML looks like. Okay, so how to run this, how to see an output. There's a button here which says live preview. Just click on this live preview button, say okay, and the Chrome browser will be used to display the live preview of what you're writing it here. Okay, I'm going to minimize it in such a way you can see the output. All right, so whatever you're writing it here will always visible onto your browser. Okay, and it's a live preview, means if you change something here, this is a live, you see it's visible onto the browser as a live preview. You don't have to refresh, you don't have to do. That's the beauty of using the brackets editor. It gives you this live preview where, and it will tell you what you're trying to change. So if I click on heading, you see heading is selected. If I click on paragraph, the paragraph is selected, so you know which tag you're changing. And this is basically the structure of the HTML looks like. And whatever you write under head tag is not actually displayed. The title is not displayed, but the title is displayed onto the browser, not on the content area. Anything that you want to display on the content area, you write under body. Anything you want to describe about this page, you write under head. Okay, so this is how the structure of an HTML looks like, and make sure everything is written under the HTML. Don't write anything outside here and don't write anything outside here. Okay, remember your HTML should be in this format, having HTML, head, body. These are the three main important parts of an HTML. Okay, so that's about the structure of the HTML. So let's start understanding all these tags of an HTML and start building our website. So let's create our first HTML page. So I'll create another folder called as first HTML page. Okay, here we will create a file called welcome.html. This is gonna be your first HTML page. Okay, we'll open brackets because we have opened the top folder. You can see introduction to HTML. You can find your first HTML page. Let's open this up. Okay, so let's start typing our first HTML page. Okay, obviously we have to define our doc type, that is HTML. Then we will define our HTML structure. Okay, what is our structure of an HTML? We have head, then we have body. Okay, and we know whatever you write inside the body is displayed on the content of the browser. And head have meta tag. You can describe about the page. So you can say the char set I'm gonna use is UTF-8, and there is no closing tag for meta tag. Even there is one more meta tag with a different property called as name, and name basically says what you're trying to define. So I'm trying to define a description of my page, and what is the content of it? The content of it is basically this is a HTML page. Okay, this is just an metadata of your page. This is used by your SEO. Let's say when Google comes to your page, index your page, you try to identify what is this description of this page. So when they display this page onto the search results, they use this description as a text to display on the search results. So that's one of the way the meta tag can be useful. It is about describing your page. Okay, so it has different attributes called name and description, and content, you give the content name. But anyway, these details will not be displayed on the browser. It's more about describing about your page. Okay, however, you have title as well. You have title which is displayed onto the title bar of the browser. So you can say welcome to HTML. Okay, now go to body tag, and we'll again learn about heading tags and all those things here. But understand h1 is used to display headings and paragraph is used to display the paragraph. Okay, simple to understand. And we're gonna say welcome to HTML here, and we're gonna say HTML stands for language, and it is used to describe the structure of the page. Okay, how do you preview it? When you click this button, this preview is visible here. Okay, if you don't want the preview, you close this, go to your page, and then you double click it. Okay, whatever is the browser that has been set, you can say I want to use Google Chrome as my default browser, say okay. Okay, and this will open up your page. If you look at the page, that is welcome.html, this file has been opened. And if you look at your code here, okay, you cannot find this description. This is a HTML page. You cannot find it anywhere because this is a meta tag. Well, this is an information about your page. This is useful for search engines who are searching your page and want to know what is this page about. So you're communicating about your page to them, okay, which is not displayed on the browser. And you can find this welcome to HTML here, and you can find the heading displayed onto the browser, and you can find the paragraph displayed onto this web browser as well. So anything that you write inside the body is visible here. Anything that you write inside the head is not visible onto the browser. Okay, so remember that. And whatever we're gonna write in terms of displaying the content onto the browser, we will be writing inside the body. Okay, well, that's how you write the HTML page. So congratulations, and if you have done this exercise, then this is basically your first step towards building websites, and we will be writing so much of code in HTML and understanding how to work with HTML in the upcoming sections. So congratulations and welcome to HTML. So let's understand what is a boilerplate. Okay, before that I want you to visit this website, html5boilerplate.com. Okay, let's understand what is HTML5 boilerplate. Okay, boilerplate is nothing but a front-end template. Okay, this is basically a startup template. Whenever you write HTML, right, you don't typically start typing doc type, HTML head, and start typing all these things. What you do is you basically create a template. You create a front-end template, and then you always start from that template. Well, this is a very common practice among all the web developers, where they tend to use a boilerplate, nothing but a front-end template. And this is one of the popular front-end template that most of the people use, because it include some of the important things that you need in an HTML page, right? Many people need Bootstrap, so it's already have Bootstrap. Many people need jQuery or Ajax included into their page, so it's already pre-included into this page. So this boilerplate basically includes some of the important things that we need to start up our HTML page. Okay, if you don't like to use boilerplates, it's up to you. If you don't like to use a template, it's up to you. You can start typing from the starting every time you use it, but to save time and also to have a standard across all your HTML pages, we tend to recommend to have a boilerplate. Okay, so we'll create one boilerplate, and you will see that for all the examples that I will be writing based on the boilerplates. We will start having a boilerplate, and from there we will start editing the code. Okay, so for that we'll create our own boilerplate, and then we will reuse for all our other HTML pages, right? So for that we'll create one folder, we'll call it as HTML boilerplate. Okay, and we'll create a file called boilerplate.html. Okay, and don't worry about this boilerplate, don't download this because it has many other things which we haven't discussed yet, so it will be too much for you to use. But once you get used to HTML, right, building websites, then it's a good practice you start with an HTML5 boilerplate. It's a very good boilerplate and defined from all the standard HTML pages that we write. Okay, so make sure if you are writing a project for a website, you use something called as a boilerplate. So for our practice purposes, we will create our own boilerplate. We'll create simple tags which we can reuse, create as a base for our future projects. Okay, so I'm going to open this file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste from the welcome, and we'll edit it in such a way that we can reuse for all the future HTML files that we are writing. Okay, so this is basically your description. Okay, and we're going to say page title. Then this is our heading, and this is our paragraph. Okay, I'll say paragraph text. Okay, and let's look at live preview of it. Okay, nothing fancy, you are having a heading and a paragraph text. Okay, and this is our boilerplate. So anything we're going to learn, we're going to start writing from here. So we're going to not repeat ourselves by writing all these tags again and again. Instead, this is our boilerplate, all the template we will reuse for all our projects. Okay, so you can have your own boilerplate. As of now, we haven't discussed about any HTML tags, so you haven't learned anything as of now. But for us to start with, remember, you should know what is an head tag, what is a body tag, and what is the purpose of having the tags in head tag, and what is the purpose of writing anything in the body tag. If you at least know these basic things where you should start writing your HTML code, it will help you to write a boilerplate so that you can reuse for all the new learnings that you are doing. You can start adding all the new learnings, and you'll know whether I should put in head section or I should put in the body section. So this is a boilerplate. Remember this, we're going to use this boilerplate and will not write this code again in the future lessons. Okay, so that's all for this lecture on HTML boilerplate, and I'll see you in the next one.